Back at it again.
No. This is arc analysis.
Oh.
This is arc analysis.
Ah.
This is arc analysis.
Back at it again.
You know what's so funny is if this is somebody's first episode hearing this, we're like, what the hell are they talking about?
Well, at least I gave them the back at it again. They at least understand that we keep coming back here.
Yeah.
And we're at it again.
Yeah. So if you're listening to here, there's two different streams of thought here. One is our full episodes, right? How do you describe them? Where we spotlight thing? I don't know. They're different.
Spotlight episodes. Yeah, we talk about things in long form.
And we start
we
with
take
the
longer
back
than 30 minutes to talk about something.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little long form. Thank you. And we start with the back at it again. But we have this one here, which is arc analysis, which is kind of like a book club, I guess, right?
Oh, even better. Nice.
Where we talk about, we read a book together and we talk about it.
And Coke, you don't want to talk about Space Woman Beyond the Stratosphere for a spotlight extended 30 to 40 minute episode?
Oh, you mean published by Blue Water Comics in 2014, written by Alan Smithy and Justin Schultz and Scott Amundsen, and drawn by John Palachuk? That Space Woman Beyond the Stratosphere?
Yeah, you don't want to?
No, God, no, I don't want to.
This was a fan submission, wasn't it?
Nope. This was a dank submission. It's so funny because the majority of these so far have been submissions that I put in, and it's usually things I've never read. And you're always like, "Why did you pick this? Why did you pick this? This time I can say, dang, this is your submission."
It is.
Put this in here,
and we discovered why I picked it. Amazing cover art. So let's highlight who did the cover art in this. Eric Owen.
There you go.
Or Erich, however you want to say it. Erich. Mr. Owen.
I'm gonna roll with whatever you say.
And it's a very, so it looks cutesy. I would compare it to Bratz meets Powerpuff Girls. And in the foreground, it's a bright, colorful headpiece on this blue space alien woman, and in the background, she has four would look like friends that all have their own individual style and hair color. Directly below her, looks like who's going to be the antagonist is another blue woman, but she's in a cloak and she's got a dagger. Below that are three, I guess I want to say black rock monsters, right? For me, they kind of look like black holes.
Teeth. Yeah,
and they got teeth like Jaws, red eyes, but they're towering over what's in the closest to you of the foreground, which is four small astronauts, and to the left, mysterious medallion with a specific symbol. They're using bright yellows, complementary blues,
purples,
pinks, purples, oranges. It's bright, it's vibrant. The fonting is fun and inviting. I thought this was going to lean more towards the My Little Pony type of issues, but clearly I didn't do my due diligence, which is flipping open the cover and looking at page 1, because night and day from where we started.
Yeah, the cover animation has nothing to do with what's inside.
Nothing about this book is cute.
But okay, so two things. One, that's kind of the point of the show, right? This is grab random comics. Sometimes we grab ones that we've read before, but most of the time it's things we haven't read, so that we can kind of experience it for the first time. So, in the spirit of the show, you did a great job, right?
Shut up.
Number 2, I'm trying to give you number 2. At the same time, you did a horrible job. Because I saw this, right? Because you put it down, and I was like, okay, before I let me just take a look.
Sure.
And I saw the cover, and I was like, oh, the cover looks kind of looks quirky and funny. But I scrolled down and saw it, and I was like, this is going to be Earth Girls Are Easy, isn't it? That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh man, this is going to be. It's not quite Earth Girls Are Easy, but if you remember that movie.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that's a low key hit, because that launched the careers of James Carey, Damon Wayans, and Jeff Goldblum with a tall young Gina Davis. Actually, I will go back to that.
Yeah, we should do something with that show.
Yeah, that was
since I was way young.
Those that know. Everyone else is like, "What are you talking about?" Google Earth Girls Are Easy trailer and tell me you're not like. I'd give this an hour and 40 minutes, and I think it's less than that. But
I remember, buddy was like, oh, this movie came out. It's called Earth Goes Are Easy. It's these aliens that come down. They just want to have sex. And we were like, what year? I don't know what year that was. We were gotta be in elementary school, like grade 6 or 7 or 8. And we're like, let's watch it. And then I feel like a lot of things went over our heads, but
again, it's not gratuitous. It's not a whole bunch of
no,
TNA, and it's dudes that are the aliens that come down. So it's way more slapstick and cartoony because you're getting like Prime in living color cast and Jeff Goldblum doing Jeff Goldblum things.
That's exactly I was like Jim. That was a big point. Like Jim Carrey's in it.
Yeah, think. Well, James Carrey is still James Carrey by that point. Think Encino Man meets Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it is. Like they shape him up. It's like he's a cool dude, right? And it's like,
yeah. Anyways,
this comic is not that. There's no charm to that. There's no funness of that. There's no hilarity, and the artwork is kind of trash.
Whenever we beat around the bush, it's usually because we know it's natural. We don't mean to, but it just means we don't really want to talk about what we're talking about. But
anyway. Find me the dead horse so I can beat that because this book was. It read fast. I'll give it that. Like I zoomed through this piece.
Okay, but there's some stuff to say. Okay, well, story first. Okay, inspired by sci-fi movies of the 1950s. The space engineer guy named Duke is getting. But hang on, this. Well, I'll tell the story, and then we'll.
Yeah, then go back to your references.
Is getting removed from a project. He has to fly to the moon, and during a convict escape, he turns into a reverse hostage situation to fly a bunch of people to space. So convicts escape. They storm the space station for some reason.
Yep.
Shuttle launch.
Right? There's no other place to escape on Earth. You have to get off of Earth.
And Duke
that's kind of funny.
The situation is hilarious. It's just because it's so far fetched. And Duke reverses the hostage situation into you guys are all coming to the moon with me, and it's like why?
Okay. No.
So on the way there, the rest of the team. Oh, Duke dies by the way on the way there. And the rest of the team crash on the moon and meet a small group of female aliens who want to take over the world through marriage with an Earthling.
Simple.
That is the premise. Now, first things first, the editing in this book is horrible. The spelling and editing is horrible because sometimes he's Duke, sometimes he's Dirk.
I wrote Dirk.
Yeah, so he's Duke in the first issue, and the rest of the issues, I believe, he's Dirk. The very ending. There's another guy named Gary, but in the middle issues, they call him Gene.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who the hell is
There's two blonde hair crew cut guys that have no discernible quality, except one of them is a prisoner, and one of them.
Aren't they both prisoners? Oh no, right. Okay, go ahead.
No, there's a brunette dude with a mustache and like a 5 o'clock shadow, and then there's a clean cut square with blonde hair, and then the lead is also a clean cut square with blonde hair, whose only other discernible quality is he's the leader with the pendant, and he's got a girlfriend.
Yeah,
but they're constantly playing off each other, and there's certain panels where you're like, which guy is this? Like they have to change outfits in order for me to be So that was an oversight. One of them could have been a ginger easily, and would have saved yourself
easily. Yeah,
Pantone.
Yeah, I was constantly confused in this book, and a lot of it has to do with the layout for it, and a lot of it has to do with the editing for it too. It's kind of because the names were spelling was horrible.
Right.
I've never read a comic that has such bad grammar and spelling. It was actually kind of funny, and then people's names were changing, like I was saying. So I was like,
yeah. It also doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, because
especially when you're going off the moon, women.
Even before that, did you find it funny that when the convicts show up, the other characters just call them by their first names, like they know them?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Gary, just grab me this gun real quick, and it's like, wait, who? So I had to actually go back, and I was like, whoa. So they did show that when the convicts escape, they put it on the TV that the girl is watching,
right?
And it does have their names there, but only she's seeing them, but everybody knows their names, and they're just using them casually. I don't know that things like that made me laugh.
Yeah, because it shows lack of planning, and you the writer assume that the reader understands everything that you have in your head, the internal. But no. And
how does people know how to fly a shuttle?
You have to get off all the mechanics of them leaving Earth on a rocket ship, because there's so many things that have to fall through the cracks for them to even make it on the ship, let alone for the crew to be like, blast off. I trust these two criminals to just fly to the moon,
Yes.
but
Yes. Yeah.
that's part of the hilarity on it, I guess. Anyway,
And like, yeah, so they crash. They meet these blue alien women. They're all females.
yeah,
And there's only like 5 or 6 of them.
that we see.
Yeah. Can they read minds or can they not read minds?
I assume the Alpha Queen could, because she always did that thing with her eyes, and then
Okay.
they had the one cool paneling where they side to side. Anyone that's like in argument and it looks like they're reading each other's mind, or like one is reading the left
Right.
is reading the right kind of thing. So I was like, okay, that's interesting, but you have to let a lot of things slide because fundamentally there's no connection that you should follow or like to follow in reading something. Like there's not enough breadcrumbs for you to make the connections that they want you to make.
No.
And they didn't do the groundwork to be like, hey, my name's Dirk. Like
Dude,
there's
that threw me. So I was like, what? I thought his name was Duke because I wrote them down, right? I was writing notes as I went. I was like, wait, how did? And the Gary Gene thing threw me. Also, the aliens. There's a queen and then there's Alpha, and that threw me too because I was like, wait, isn't the queen
I thought it
the
was the
Alpha?
same thing, but yeah, no.
No, her name is Alpha. I was like,
Gets to the Litos, and like, what a name to give her of all the names you could have given her, Alpha.
yeah,
Because
Alpha.
they're constantly talking about they need this one dude, essentially an alpha male, to help repopulate and bring the new Jesus, I guess, for their race to like bring them into. There's two weird
Is that okay? Is that
plot
sorry?
lines. The first, and like the Queen Alito, whatever, she wants the true Dirk or the true Alpha, whatever. I guess she's the Alpha to make a new baby, and that baby is
Yeah,
supposed to
one.
deliver them. Yeah.
So that's okay. That's what I understood. So the fact
Second
that
girl doesn't do that.
So they're going to reproduce, have a kid, and that's how they're going to take over the Earth. Like I didn't quite get that either. I was like,
listen, it's not hard to poke holes in this. So you questioning that, like, I can't give you a rationale. That seemed like that's what I took from it. So that's what I was assuming.
No, that's fine. What's amazing is that one of the other aliens was like, but wouldn't it be easier or more efficient to kind of infiltrate their nation's leaders and like take them down? She's like, no, this is how we're doing it. I was like,
all right,
like, well,
I'm not gonna argue.
Like the writer's calling himself out here. Like that's exactly what I was thinking. That's a way better plan. No, we have to have a baby, and then I guess it's gonna come out the womb like fully grown, and like I don't know, like
I maybe, but then like you don't even get to see that plot line follow through because that what's the name? Alpha immediately gets usurped by the other girl.
Alpha kills the queen.
Yes. Okay, my bad. So I'm getting Queen and Alpha confused.
You're getting mixed up. No, I don't blame you because they all look the same and their names they're basically the same. Go ahead.
But Alpha comes in and is like, nope, that's a terrible plan. I'm gonna kill you. Stabs her, and I did laugh at the Queen on the floor talking about you're not gonna get away with this, and like she's bleeding out. Like what is she do? Like stabs her again. Like I have a new plan, and there's spiders and diamonds and. There's one pervy prisoner. It's not good.
Well, okay, so let's skip ahead. You know that there's the rock monsters that you said that show up at the end, right?
Technically in the beginning too, but they really only make their punch at the end. Yes.
Yeah. The astronauts. No, I can't even call them astronauts. The people that ended up on the moon, they put their moon suits on and they're running back to the shuttle. And
wait, don't skip over that a random moon lady decides that she wants to save Dirk and pulls a key from her hair.
Yeah, that is funny. Yes.
To go to the armory. That's right. There's somebody just like, okay, so I just figured out what I'm giving this book. But at a certain point, when they're trying to figure out how to get out of this, because it seems inviting, right? Like the blue women lure them in, they feed them with food, and then one of them pulls away, and the rest of them are like, oh, sweet, we're going to get laid by these blue ladies, right? That's what they assume. One of them goes one way and tries to introduce sex to this alien, and she's like, no, I've never met a man before, and instead like finds diamonds. He's like, ooh, give me these diamonds, and then almost gets eaten by a spider. So I laughed. I was like, forget this. The other blonde dude, like he's the sensitive one. Like I guess he's the Lance Bass of this NSYNC team. he gets like a heart to heart with the blue girl, and in a matter of minutes, she's just like, here, take this key, go to the armory, save yourself. And I'm like, what? And they appear again in spacesuits and space guns to shoot the crazy diamond spider. And then they're like, we gotta get out of here. I was like, yeah, you guys gotta get out of here. It's not gonna work out here. You guys gotta go. Sorry to cut you. You can finish now. I just needed to like that. Just was like, why she put it from her hair too? Like not even like here in my pocket. Like she was hiding it this whole time. So you were part of this plot before this plot happened, or like this is just part of your custom to hold keeping hairs.
It was convenient.
Like, it did. Oh, it was as frustrating as funny.
Yeah, and then she immediately dies. Like that's I don't even think he said that either. She pulls it out and just gets that rock thrown on her head.
Wait, did I love this book? Am I in love with this book? Is this the best book I've got to read?
She dies. Yeah, that's the one with the pink hair. It's like till death do us part, and I was like, what?
Bang.
Did they get married?
I don't. Do you care? Do you want an answer to that?
No, I don't.
I don't think the whole ceremony goes through. The ceremony too is like him and her standing on an altar, and all these blue women just dancing in the foreground. It's like we're gonna get married now. And I was like, what's going on here? Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, can you tell me they
one of them psychic.
So when they get outside after that, the rock monsters jump them.
Yeah, like and kill that dude.
And the one guy gets
the one dude who's like, all right, I'm leaving here with diamonds, right? So like he leaves the cave with 2 sacks of diamonds and just gets mollywopped by this rock monster into like orbit, and he's done. Like his face is exploded. I was like,
oh, that's what happens. Yeah, in that panel, he gets hit. Oh, okay. I thought he just started floating. I was like, what is going on?
And then there's a certain panel where you just see a skull and like in his suit, right? And they're like, okay, we gotta get out of here. And so,
but then what does he throw at the rock monster? Where did he get that bomb?
You weren't paying attention when they're in the armory. They got the guns and the bombs.
Oh yes, I was paying attention.
I don't blame you. This was not, but one bomb took out 3 of those rock dudes.
So I was dying because I thought he just threw a rock.
It's kind of better.
Yeah, like, and I was honestly dying because he throws it and then it just blows up and 3 of them go.
Because that would be amazing if the one weakness for these moon rock monsters was moon rocks. Because who's throwing moon rocks at moon rock monsters, right? Like this is our turf. No, but like these outsiders figured out this one. Like, I think we should write that. That's kind of amazing. I'd laugh so hard if like
their one weakness is moon rocks.
Is the thing that they're surrounded with, because no one would think like let's just throw a rock at them. So someone's like, I'm gonna throw a rock at these guys, and it just devastates them.
Yeah. So, but they get out. And just look at your notes real quick and just check out, because I just sent you like the last panels of the way they look at the last panel, the 2 characters.
Oh, the final pages made me mad because it was like, how is this an ending? But those rubber faces, I was just like, yep, we did it.
Fly away, and it's like quit. Oh, and that's the other thing too. Did I write that down somewhere? The way that the one guy keeps talking to everybody else.
Right.
Like, quit looking at my girl, you prick.
Meanwhile, he's gonna get married to Queen Leto.
Yeah. No, what was it? Oh, the final fantasy is like, quit eyeballing my girl, you shifty-eyed little freak. He's like, yes, sir. And they both do that stare.
They just look off into the distance.
Yeah, there's like
this blank look. So it's like a freeze frame. It's like an 80s sitcom TV show freeze frame, but like this book wasn't funny. Anyway, this may get the highest award I've ever given a comic book because good lord. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, there's nothing else, because that's the end of the book. We've covered the entirety of the book just now. So we rate this on a good or bad basis. Boom being good, bomb being bad, or whoosh for what did I just read. It's funny. I knew this would be funny to talk about,
Yes.
but it's so fucking
Bad.
confusing.
It's bad. It needed an
It's not,
editor. Nobody edited and came through like, hey, this doesn't make sense to this. Maybe you should go back and run this back. And
and
what's
I
this
can't.
guy's name?
Yeah, and I can't let off the hook. I gotta give it a bob.
I will definitely let it off the hook. It's been a while, and I'm so happy we got to bring it back. This is definitely a whoosh.
I knew you were gonna do whoosh.
There's actually, now that we're talking about it, there's actual, not a good one, but there's a story in here.
Yeah,
They just don't
but it
stick to it,
yeah.
and they decide that at every turn something new is going to happen. So whoosh, whoosh, whoosh,
But it
all
makes
the way
no,
home.
the plot makes no sense. I wish they had kind of expanded on that a bit. I mean, I wish they did a lot of things differently. But
Yeah.
if there's like, we're
Yep.
just gonna have a baby and then we're gonna take over the world, and it's like, I don't. Why do you want Earth for one thing, and how is that gonna work for another thing? If they explained that, I think I would have been like, okay,
Yeah, no, the snappy eat ray gun. Rocco didn't
yeah, no, that was so good.
speak to you.
There was this,
Ah,
yeah,
June.
yeah. Quit
That's
eyeballing my
like 3
girl,
pages
you
of dialogue.
it's just, I wish, man, quit eyeballing my girl, you shift-eyed little freak.
Yes, sir.
And then they have this stupid
Rubber
face.
face.
And ding, ding. Oh,
It's
man.
weird if they kept turning this up to 11 and treated it campy as it looks and kind of feels. Like if this was like played like Thunderbirds or Team America
Yep.
of like marionettes, this could have been a gem, right? It was just like,
yeah,
let's throw a moon rock at that moon monster. And it's like,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Like if that dude just kept saying yes, sir, he probably would have been
exactly.
the MVP of the comic.
And by the way, fuck you. Yes, sir. Like that would have killed. Like just, yep. They should have gone more shirtless bear fighter and less whatever this is.
I appreciate the technology and the fact that they had an emergency launch initiated button to get off the moon.
Yeah. Nobody needs to drive the shuttle. This is incredible. I don't know what year this is, but the shuttles just drive themselves.
Perfect landing, perfect takeoff, never a problem.
And a perfect book.
Space Force.
What was that show with the marionettes, the rocket one? What was that called?
Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Because the ship looks like it.
You said that too, and I was like, still like,
Yes, sir.
I've read this book too many times. Bye.